welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, happy podcast day, Thursday edition. Welcome back to the show. Let's just get right into it. It's going to be a quick episode, but I think what we're going to share with you here today is going to make a real huge difference for your digital marketing. So it's another marketing episode, specifically digital marketing, specifically content marketing on Instagram. Now, I started a new Instagram earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, with the intention of it being specifically for marketing my network marketing business and down the road, the marketing courses that I will be creating. So coming out of the gate, my content reflected that, right? I had a clear idea of who my ideal customer avatar was and the demographic of people that I was trying to attract. However, for some reason, it was just going really slow. It was really slow. The reach and engagement wasn't there. The audience and the following wasn't growing at a pace that I thought it would. Even though I thought my content was really dialed into attracting those specific that specific individual customer avatar. What I've learned recently is that it's because I wasn't focused on what phase I was in my marketing, right? And this is something I learned recently that's made a huge difference. At the beginning, you need to focus on the growth phase, right? Naturally, it seems like a no-brainer, but like you don't really think about these things, right? And because I wasn't aware that I needed to focus on the growth phase of my marketing, my digital marketing, my content really reflected more of just direct marketing, right? I came out of the gate straight marketing, straight into marketing my offerings, as opposed to focusing on growth and giving value to the people that I'm trying to attract. So now that I'm aware of that, my content has gotten even more dialed in, and I'm starting to make headway as far as my reach and the growth in the audience. So that's the first part of the conversation. Understand that if you're brand new, understand what phase of growth you are, or what phase you're in with your digital marketing. And at the beginning, you've got to really pay attention to your growth phase. Otherwise, you're putting out content and nobody's seeing it. Right now, the second piece of the conversation is the content itself, and getting that really dialed in. The cadence of the content. Obviously, you want to post at least once a day, in my opinion. That seems to have worked best, if not multiple times a day, maybe two times a day if you can manage that, but at least once a day. But the content of the content, right? The meat and potatoes, the substance of the content is really important. Again, you got to get it very specific to the audience that you're trying to attract, and get those messages very dialed in so that it pulls them in and it keeps them coming back. So know your customer avatar. It's like, I'm going to keep driving that point home every time we talk about marketing. Really get a clear picture and a clear idea of who you're trying to attract and the audience you're trying to get in front of. Because if you don't know that, then your content is going to be really sporadic. Like, it's going to be spread all over the place as far as the type of content and the messaging in that content. So the more specific you have your customer avatar dialed in, the more specific your content can be. And that's very important. Be very specific with the messaging in your content. The second piece is be repetitive. Now, my understanding, as I've seen this kind of work and play out for my own content in the last couple of weeks, is that the algorithm needs to understand what your content is all about. If your content is too broad, like if you're posting, mindset today, fitness tomorrow, health and wellness the next day, marketing the next day, which is my old account, right? The algorithm doesn't know what to do with it. Right. So, and by the way, I'm not like, a coder. I'm not an engineer. I don't know. I don't know programming, but my understanding of how it's worked for me is that being repetitive with the messaging in the content, I'm not repeating exact content necessarily, but being repetitive with the messaging of the content allows the algorithm to get a better understanding of your content and of your account and of your profile. So that it knows who to push it out to. And the more repetitive you are with the messaging in your content, the better the algorithm understands it. right? And so it's like, okay, that makes logical sense. In this growth phase, I need to pay attention to being repetitive with my messaging so that the algorithm can push me out to more people that want that messaging, that specific messaging. So getting dialed in with the customer avatar allows you to really get specific with your messaging, and then just repeat that messaging, and the algorithm will figure it out so that it pushes you out to more people, right? So these are really, really important things to understand. And it feels like, in hindsight, to me, it feels like kind of no-brainers, but like not being aware of these things, consciously aware of these things when I first started my new account, my second account on Instagram, I know it really was, had slowed my growth, right? And because I didn't know I was in a growth phase, I didn't know I was in the phase where I really had to pay attention to growing my reach and growing my audience. So hopefully this helps. If you are stuck in this, or if you found yourself plateaued with your reach and with your audience growth, get back to paying attention to these two things, right? Getting very specific in your messaging and repeating that messaging so the algorithm then understands who to put you in front of, right? So yeah, hopefully that helps, and we're going to be talking a lot more as my reach and my audience grow here in the next couple of weeks on Instagram. Of course, I'm sure I'll have many more lessons to learn to share with you in real time. So that's it for today. Of course, more from me in the next episode. It's going to be on Tuesday. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.